Good evening. We are continuing our coverage of the 4-year mark of the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, with then President Donald Trump declaring a nationwide emergency. And Brittany, it's a time we all remember, and it's been a long battle against the virus, with millions of Americans still dealing with symptoms of long COVID today.
Yeah, it's still a long way to go. That emergency declaration had a huge impact on people's everyday lives. It led to Governor J.B. Pritzker issuing a stay-at-home order, which impacted local businesses, like you see here on your screen right now. A lot of them had to close down. Now, according to the CDC, the coronavirus tragically took the lives of more than 6 million people in the U.S. by the time the pandemic officially ended. And tonight, our 13 WRX's Shannon Taylor is digging deeper into how those lingering impacts from the pandemic have forever changed the face of healthcare.
And how the lessons they learned will help prepare them for the future.
It brought me back to just the inability to believe it's been 4 years.
2020, the year when the world paused due to COVID-19. From at-home learning to state shutdowns, the pandemic still leaving a lasting impression on everyone.
It was a weekend. We were called in on the weekend and just informed about, the pandemic as it was and how we believed it would threaten healthcare and just our public in general.
Overton, who's worked as a nurse for 20 years, says she remembers how life-changing the start of the pandemic was as an essential worker, saying although it helped build a relationship with patients virtually, she has seen more patients become reluctant to go to the doctor, causing a lingering challenge in the healthcare system.
We still have patients who have healthcare gaps that we're trying to solve for. Even 4 years later, they've missed some of those key elements for a diabetic to make sure they get their eye exams, their foot exams, etc.
For rural areas like Boone County, which according to their health department public administrator says they did not see its first COVID case until weeks after the pandemic, says even after 4 years, the importance for vaccines are still vital.
I recognize and remember that people are still losing their lives to COVID. Even to this day, people are still being hospitalized and then being discharged with symptoms that will last for the rest of their lives. And we need to still take that seriously.
Adding, although the peak of COVID is over, the lessons they have learned over the trajectory of the pandemic will be used in the future should another one occur. Shannon Taylor, 13 WREX.
Right now, all counties in our area remain at low levels when it comes to COVID cases. March 21st will officially mark 4 years since the stay-at-home order went into place. Times we all remember.
Yeah, and with today marking the 4th anniversary of the COVID-19 national emergency, Winnebago County health officials say we've come a long way since 2020. A health department statement says, in part, quote, "From the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, our community looked forward to this time when we could treat COVID-19 like other respiratory viruses, such as flu and RSV. While respiratory viruses remain a concern that need to be monitored and require vigilance in taking steps to prevent their spread, we have been able to adapt and learn to live with COVID-19, end quote.